So here I am going to display the RTAC 2 as used as a woods tool. Gonna cut through this little log here. Take my glove off to get a better grip on the knife. So what I'm doing here, because I'm right-handed, I come down from this way because I don't have as much leverage when I go like this as when I come down like that. So I'm chopping into it straight down, making cuts, and then where I have more strength coming like this, putting my body weight into it, I come down to the side and I'm chopping off those cuts that I made with the downward strikes. And that's how it's done. One important topic I wanted to discuss for winter survival is to stay hydrated. More importantly, to hydrate properly. Water's good. When you're out here, you might not be, obviously it's not 90 degrees outside, but that doesn't mean you don't need to drink. You're out cutting wood and doing whatever you need to do to get your camp set up or to survive. You need to stay hydrated, but what you need to not do is harm yourself in the process. There's all this snow laying around, yeah. Snow is frozen water. Yes, correct again. But you don't want to eat snow in a survival situation because that is going to drop your body temperature much faster than the cold air will on your skin. By eating the cold snow, when you eat that, your body is dropping in core temperature, and that's going to make you slower. It's going to make you lethargic, and it's going to, overall, it's going to lower your body temperature, and you don't want to get hypothermia out here. And just talking on that, when you are exercising or, exerting physical force to chop wood or drag something or whatever it might be, you want to make sure that you're not sweating too much. You want to layer. You want to get airflow because you don't want your body to be covered in sweat, and then when you stop, your body's wet, and hypothermia can set in a lot faster. When you are wet in the water or through sweat, hypothermia can set in, I think it is something like 26 times faster than if you're just out in the cold but your body is dry. So that's something to keep in mind. Another tip, when you're trying to create water, if you can't find a water source, if you do have a pot with you or some sort of thing you can boil or melt snow in, put a little bit of snow in at a time. If you put the whole pot filled with snow, what's going to happen is the bottom snow is going to melt, and the snow up above will absorb that when it boils, that little bit that you actually did melt, and then it'll be absorbed up above, and then all you're going to end up doing is burning the pot. So that's something to keep in mind. If you can find ice, melt that instead, because that produces a lot more volume with a less amount of heat compared to snow, because it's more compact. If you do have to melt snow, go for the bottom layers because they're more granular than the powdery top, and they will produce more yield as well. So those are some tips to keep in mind for water. Okay, so I have my tinder, my kindling, and my fuel. Now again, this is not anywhere near as much fuel as one would need to sustain themselves for any significant period of time. As soon as I build this fire, I'm going to be putting it out because I do have other things to do today. But I did want to just show you how to actually make this into finer pieces to build the fire up to eventually getting to a more significant large fire using logs as fuel. And I'm going to show you that right now. So this technique I'm about to show you is referred to as batoning wood. What you need to do this is a knife and a piece of wood that's going to act as a hammer, basically. If you have WD-40, it works excellent. You just spray it on the knife and it will help you get through the wood much faster. Okay. You try to split it evenly because you want to get as many pieces of wood as you can out of this. Now this is outer, it is a little bit wet. This is the wettest piece that I had, but still this is going to work on any piece of wood. So I'm exerting force with my left hand, pushing down as I'm striking with the right. And this wood is a lot more wet than I thought it was. But basically, from what you want to do from here is cut this down into smaller and smaller pieces. Something about it, I don't know what it is, has to do with the rings in the wood, but right angles on pieces of wood burn extremely well. So the more right angles, sharp edges that you can produce on here, the faster this is going to light for you. So you get these small pieces down, you know, probably cut this another time here. This piece of wood is a little skewed, so we'll use this one. But again, the more right angles you have, sharp edges that you have, flat edges, the fire will like that, and it'll grow that much faster for you. So that's how to baton wood. Alright, so now for the moment of truth, actually lighting the fire. We're going to assume that you are somewhat prepared and at least have a lighter or something to generate the spark. I'm going to show you a couple of the different things that I have to start a fire. My newest addition is this little sparker I got from Gainer Mountain. Works pretty simple. You push down on it here and then strike it down into your tinder and it produces a spark. Then there's a simple light my fire. Works the same way pretty much. You just have two separate pieces. Then your standard magnesium strip, make shavings off of this, and then with a knife you can produce a spark which will light those shavings. Another popular method is using cotton balls with Vaseline or petroleum jelly on them. They do burn pretty well. I'm going to use one of these with the spark just to show you how well they actually do work, and then I will light my tinder with that. I'm going to do this so you guys can see on here just how it works. I can't do it left-handed, so you're just going to have to... So that works pretty well. This is going to burn very nicely for me here. You can see that tinder burning nicely for me. Probably should have been a little bit more prepared to have the kindling ready to go, but it is smoking a little bit. Some of these are a little, there we go, a little damp, but those on there, those will get it going real quick. Yeah. You just keep feeding it like this with these smaller pieces. Again, you know, you do want to go slow with this. I am going a little bit faster than I would do if I was really out here for the night. But you can see it's starting to build. Just add slowly. So those initial pieces that I used were a little bit more damp than I thought they were, so I did get a little bit more here. You can see now healthy fire going. You sustain this for probably 15 minutes. You can start adding some of your larger baton pieces on there, gradually working your way up to a larger fire. Just wish I had a little bit more time here. I do have to go to work today, unfortunately, later on, so kind of in a time crunch. But just keep an eye on the fire, add as you need to, and just slow and steady wins the race, really, with building up to larger pieces of wood. You know, you get a lot of people that go out there and, oh, we got a little flame going, and I was even partially guilty of it today because I was in a rush. But you need to build slow and work your way up to the larger pieces before you can put them on there, because if you don't, you'll just kill the fire, because it can't use those as fuel until it's hot enough to do so. So this is No More Op4, guys, out here in Western PA. Hope this helped. Take care.